I need to stop coughing at the start of videos. Anyway, this is a game which is not from the Ladder Wars tournament that I wanted to have a look at because this, I believe, should show you. This is when I was learning to play Cranioids. So I don't think Marines can beat Cranioids, or at least it's incredibly hard against a good Cranioids player. And I wanted to sort of show this, and so I decided I'd learn Cranioids, and I'd do what Tiger Style keeps doing to me, and show how powerful that can be. And here is the best best example I think I've managed to have of that so far. This was in a set of games that I did suggest to Dissonant cast, but it's been a while since I suggested that, and he's been playing some. He's casted some other games that aren't this since then, so I'm assuming he's not going to, and so he won't mind me casting it. I apologise for some of the bleeps and bloops. You may get a few of those. I've been chatting on Steam to some people, but so this is DasDuelon over here in the blue, playing as the Marines, and myself over here as the red Cranioids. And what you'll see is I started immediately with this little airbase, and then with the two tech buildings. Also, he's hopping the wall here, which doesn't really need to be done, but he is also doing the exact same, a standard Marine start build. Start with the factory and do these. I also want to point out that this was obviously before the last patch, as we are not cross positions, and this is as a Cranio player, this is even more powerful now after the build, when you can't have these dangerous close positions where these ogres could do a lot. So now, what I'm doing is I've essentially just got some of these out to harass, and the point of these is not actually to do that much. I've managed to catch one of the Marines on micro tier, but it's just to keep him busy, keep him held up in his base. And what you can see is he's had to run this away. He's now on, essentially 2 harvesters right now that he's realised he's next to me. And now I'm even getting aggressors out. And these are the important part where this build starts to become unstoppable. Because right here you can see an example, because he went factory first and then into Marines. Right now I can actually hold up against his Marines. And he tries to push forward to hit me, but I'm just like, no, I'm just going to sit here with my aggressors and I'm just going to poke down your dudes. Now that he's started to get a few Marines out, I can't fight him on as much head-to-head, but look at this. I forced him to here build a second barracks to try and stop me, which I actually, first point out, is the wrong response. He should have built a drone bay and gone for air, I believe. Now, I think this is what he's building, a drone bay here, but he shouldn't have made that second factory. It's actually just a waste of money. But right here, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. I might have gone a bit too far back there. This thing is a bit fidgety when you're trying to move a little bit. But this is sort of an odd example because I end up fighting his army quite a lot here to do it. But this shows you with a normal starting Marine build, I can do this. I can fight his army, which isn't even how this build is supposed to be strong. But I can because he has so few Marines, right? But as soon as I start feeling like his Marine count is getting to a scary point, I just fly all these back here. 3 aggressors, you can start being real powerful, right? And just microing these away so they don't take much damage, and I killed that, right? He couldn't stop me with those Marines, right? And now I get up here, and I find another one, and I start hitting them. Now I actually leave the aggressors up here, who do more damage, and I actually split these down here, because I know that if I keep doing this and pulling him apart, he's going to be screwed. Now he actually walks ogres into my base here, which is a decent decision. His ogres are not going to be doing much use defending this. You can see he only had 1 Marine defending that, so I can take out that. I've got this. So now that he's down onto these 2 harvesters, to make this, you can see by how slowly this is building that he's actually at 0 money right now. He couldn't make this to make a harvester, and he couldn't be producing ogres. So he's only producing Marines right now, so these are his only Marines. And, he's doing some damage to he took out my harvester there, and he's done a lot of damage over here. But he only had 4 ogres. So I pull back my harvesters, I've got the new harvesters I made, and I can kill him. He can't even attack my harvesters. And now, all these harvesters I can just walk up, right? These, essentially useless in this game, weren't even that great. But now, the important thing is, I've got 2 of these going out. I've still got these. These can keep him down on 0 economy. So I'm just going to fly around. I mean, I didn't actually see that, but I'm going to walk these in here now. Look, so these come in here, right? And they see, oh, there's a lot of Marines there. Going to get out of here. These guys force his harvester off of there. I'm checking up here to see if he has more harvesters over there. But I'm like, okay, run away, because I don't have enough yet. But I'm now making off of 2 of these. And I have plenty of money. Look at all this money I have here, because Marines have no real way of harassing me. That he's spending all of his money on prevention for these killing any more of his harvesters. And he's managed to keep himself on a respectable harvester count now. But because he got slowed down from making units to get himself back to this respectable harvester count, he had to cut a lot of ogres. So his army is mainly Marines and Shrikes now. This is not a good army for fighting against a mass of stinkbugs. So I have these. I've split these up even to search more places quicker. So he thinks, oh, nice, I've chased these off. And then, lol, he comes to try and get here, and I kill him, right? And it doesn't matter too much for me at this point whether these are running, whether these are, getting killed, right? Because as long as I'm still doing the damage that needs to be done, they're being super useful. I've got this killing his 1 ogre here. The ogres are the things that really terrorize these. And then his Marines just do nothing against this. His Shrikes do nothing against this, even if they kill all of my aggressors, which looks like they are. I'm still doing a bit of damage to his economy. He's got some of his army here, which, is a good play normally to split off and try and defend against this aggressor harass, but means that his army in the front is even weaker. Even if they were there, they're mostly Marines, which die to these stink bugs. And so now I'm just splitting up my stink bugs across his whole base. He can't do anything against it. And he's like, yo, I've won the air battle. So what? He has Shrikes. Even if he comes over here and kills these aggressors, which I have, right? I'm like, well, I've won already now. This is the sort of play that I think Cranioid should do against Marines. I think it will, if you do this against Marine players and you're a decent Cranioid player, this will give you ridiculous win rates. Look at all those are even AFK this whole time because I was, fighting off these guys at the front. And I'm just like, well, I just run all of my dudes in here. He has this factory, so he can make ogres, right? But now, he has nothing to deal with my aggressors again. So, that is just an example of how I think Cranioids can play against a Marine player. I might go. They might be too long for there still to be replays of. I might go and try and find some of the videos of the replays of Tiger Style killing me at some point with this to show how it goes against someone who's sort of dealing with it more. There was a replay also that I could look at of a possible way to deal with this sort of harassment by that I believe Recon sent me. But this is just my idea of showing you how powerful this can be. Not a great Cranioids player. This was still my first day of playing Cranioids. Maybe my second day, but it was very early on in me playing Cranioids. And this is a decent Marine player. He's got a lot better than he was at this game, during this game, but still a decent player. And, even though ogres kill stink bugs, you see how you can put someone's economy so far back. And I think this was an interesting example because I didn't even go directly for his economy all the time. I had this fight out here early where I had aggressors and sources versus ogres, like just forcing his army back so he couldn't do anything. And I think it just shows the power of this build quite nicely. And this was, I think, an interesting game to look at.